Knife round, map decider, Inferno, all the nice things you'd want from a quality match of Counter-Strike. And we're going to try and finish off this series in interesting fashion. It looks like 9Z have won that knife round, so choice of side. It's been a very entertaining series so far, Paladin. What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I mean it's been very exciting. We've had a lot of exciting clutch, a lot of you know mistakes being capitalized upon. But I mean, I think I've been very happy with the kind of resiliency from both of these squads digging themselves out of multiple deficits. And although 00Nation could not convert and close things out on that comeback trail, it still gives me hope that this Inferno will be close and that we'll actually have a true decider as to who is the better team going into the grand final.
Yeah, of course, this is the game that decides that. Winner of this goes to the grand final. Loser plays the winner of INTZ versus Fluxo, which is currently going on, of course, on the B stream at the moment. And INTZ are actually 8-4 up on that map decider. So
Wow.
let's see how that goes. They are on a CT side start, and Lub is having a great game, 16-5. So let's see if they can translate that one.
Okay. T-sided start for 00Nation. Losing the knife round. Double smoke. Molly, double flash. A little bit of
Utility in
an
abundance.
execute here, potentially. Oh,
Utility in abundance for sure. Just fixing our interactive caster for you. We'll get it sorted. There we go. Hopefully everything is as it should be. But yeah, utilities are really at a great level. 2 smokes and the double flash and the molly means that you'd assume it could be a bit of an execute, perhaps toward B. We'll try and get those undefined dots removed from your minimap as well. Don't worry, that's just a bug that can happen with the ESL HUD. Hopefully we'll sort that out for you, but we're going to concentrate on the action for now. The action is going into a B eventually. Max up close with the dualies, flashes mains, everyone's very blind for a very long amount of time, and then DGT peeks from CT, helped out by Max on the site, and it's the fastest wipeout you could ever wish to have. That was clean.
awesome aggression there through that CT smoke, and there's a great little timing there from 9Z on that close banana smoke, so they had to go full gray screen. And so they're not going to be prioritizing first oranges, even though they have a player exposed there.
Yeah.
9Z do very well to set up some crossfires that have to be somewhat makeshift. They're not necessarily the best in the game, but they definitely make it work. And it forces 00Nation to a quick force buy. We haven't seen them do it very often. I think only once this series so far. And they want to try and combat it early here.
It's full force, as you say. Nice spam from the smoke there from Try. Actually managed to get a headshot from that. And David actually, a bit of a whiffy spray on the first, manages to nab it. Then Natu has time to finish him off. And a wild set of trades on the site before coldzera gets himself 2 taps with the Tech 9. M4 picked up as well, but they have no idea that Max is so close. Actually, Cold recovers for that frag, and now Buddha has to rush in to finish the job. Oh, that was very close in the end. Good damage from 00Nation, but 9Z get away with the kill and the defuse.
Look, it might not be the best play here, but I would force buy again into this round.
Yeah.
You've got 9Z's money right on the edge. You've gotten a bomb plant. coldzera racked up quite a number of kills as well. But instead, what 00Nation are going to opt for is just a lighter buy here. Essentially the same buy that they had in the round previous, but also have residual cash so that they can stay competitive in round number 4. I don't mind this at all. It still has enough of an oomph to kind of have a chance at this round. And at the worst, if they can get 3 kills, they certainly would have done enough damage to rectify it.
Oh, they're very content to going very aggressive, aren't they? Already early doors, even with the lack of economy at this stage. And another dink comes through. Try only just gets away with that. Lato 1 HP, DGT 9, Try 10.
Oh,
Numbers are fun, but Cold will go down, and And QZ, even though he answers back for 1, is now 13 HP between the final 2 players. Surely Lato can't get 1 more, being so low. Tries playing the smart off angle as well. Just the 1 bullet needed, now he's been spotted. There it is. Clean 3-0. I say clean, it hasn't been the cleanest overall. But at least they survived with 3 players alive this time. And actually, I do agree with you. I would have preferred to see 00Nation actually commit to the full buy there. Actually try out something properly. coldzera could have most certainly afforded an AK and full utility with the money he had left over. Obviously, they would have been on Galils and Mac 10s if they wanted utility elsewhere. But still, either way, 9Z have a nice start.
I don't think 9Z were even aware that the 4-5 was even a possibility. We saw how aggressively.
Yeah.
More pistols, but no harm, no foul. They've still got a great buy here, 00Nation, into round number 4. And quick apartments control. Lotto quick in a boiler trying to take this fight against David with Molly out in hand.
Yeah, sees the smoke come in and decides now is the time to chuck it, and just about manages to nab the opener. Lato taken down, but took David down to 5 HP. But they've got a frag back in response too, thanks to Cold on DGT. And David now actually might choose to re-aggress toward Boiler. This would be huge.
Oh, huge.
He's about to catch them on the flank here. 3 players not looking his way. 1 and 2. And he doesn't even reface for the 3rd. Just nice patience. Cold still answering back though. Another frag. 3 in the round for him, and almost actually deals with Buddha as well. Now it's Next in a clutch. He's actually forced wide and will actually go for the duel first. It would be the correct decision because both these players are very low. And Buddha's actually comfortable to actually take a duel on that 46 points of health. Next has the bomb available to him on his back. So if he can creep down mid and go toward B, there is an opening for that right now. And he realises that. This is a good heads-up play. He's made the correct call here. David has realised the situation, and he's going to try and cut him off. But Next does have a smoke for CT.
Comes through. It actually misses, unless he wanted to plant it in front.
He did.
But he gets off of it, and he wants to spam the smoke. Next is completely overthought this round, and he's run out of time to plant the bomb. Buddha can just run away, and it's a 4th round for 9Z. Oh, it was honestly a very, very winnable clutch, but it just feels like he got it in his own head there.
Yeah, he's caught in 2 minds, right? I mean, we know that David was stomping up to the smoke. Like, he could hear that. He was worried that if he just commits to the bomb plant with that smoke the way it was, he would just be taken down straight up. So he decided to get off of it, but then David realised that he could just waste the clock. And even though the kill came through, no time. 3 seconds there was in the end. And that is not enough.
You know, they've been keeping these rounds close, 00Nation. 1 round in their favor can completely snap the CT economy. That is just the nature of how fragile it can be. So they're not out of the woods just yet, 9Z. And they've got 2 rifles to at least combat it, but no utility to speak of. Smoke Molly flash on Lotto's back, but that's about it. And with no map control being taken and none really available to take with the amount of utility that they have, it's going to have to just be some raw aim duels here. So they're just going to march up Banana slowly but surely, have Next set up with this rifle, and try to trade their way into this B site potentially.
Max close with the MP9, ready to chuck down that incendiary as soon as he feels any contact. And Buddha senses any contact and sees any contact. And now the utility flying in, that's exactly what they'll do. But goodness me, that headshot from Next is disgusting. But
oh no.
NQZ decides to charge straight through towards CT, and that charged straight into the headshot of DGT. Did he actually hit his teammate there? Looked like he may have done through the edge of that smoke, but in the end it's not going to matter. Dumao, MP9, look how deep the bomb is in spawn. That is a massive oversight to have the player with the bomb pushing in so deep. Now has to fight his way out, gets himself a kill. Nice headshot on David, but there are 2 players ready to fight him and only 1 bullet needed. 5-0. I can't believe they pushed the bomb in towards spawn so aggressively like that. That's a huge misplay.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got the site as well, and sure, you've only got 1 smoke, but for some reason, they really want to throw that smoke right in front of the site instead of CT instead. I'm not necessarily sure why they're so keen on taking the CT duels. It's never really a favored angle, and it's honestly one of those types of smokes that you would use maybe once in a whole half rather than like
Yeah.
2 or 3 times in 6 rounds. So a bit odd from 00Nation, but again, that was a little bit of a half buy there. They still got rifles out. NQZ still has his AWP. And more importantly, 9Z's economy is still in flux. So an opportunity is still very, very much present for 00Nation. I'm very curious to see how they actually want to operate this time around. They've gotten apartments, and they'll wait for that body to expunge so they can try to take brackets as well. Oh, is David aware of this? How close there are up to this balcony?
Yeah, just Smoke is a bit of a shield right now, and now he's repositioned into a good spot because DGT is here to help out as well. DGT and David, the double Ds, nicely set up. Bomb is now coming into this position as well. And there's a smoke toward long, so this will be blocking off any of the rotation vision from Try. David, easy first kill, just for the second, helped up by DGT. That's what we wanted to see. And he even picks up the AK and takes cold as well. Clean from 9Z.
There was a opening potentially with Try rotating back to the B bomb site, but yeah, that crossfire is very, very deadly. Very well done from the double Ds. And it's going to be a 6-4-9Z and finally a clean round. They've been looking for that to kind of bolster that CT economy for a while. And at last, they've gotten it. 00Nation continue to have the goose egg. And they'll try to save here with whatever they have. But it's not looking good early doors here, Trav.
It is not, I'm afraid. It's a weird situation for 00Nation now. They're having to save with the AWP and the AK. I'm sure the utility and weaponry is good to save, but elsewhere, what do you have? Not much. Lato can probably buy up an AK and armor if he wants to, but they're just taking it comfortably for now. That's part of me actually it's kind of surprised they don't fully invest. They could have got the AK on Lato, maybe a Mac 10 and a Tech 9 on the other two, and you have a decent buy actually. But they know they've been successful in the past with buys even as little as this, so fair enough.
Aggression from Max through that smoke. He doesn't get offered up anything. Try takes down his counterpart. NQZ goes down, so the op can be retrieved, I'd like to think. Yeah,
Yep.
coldzera picks it up. But a great man advantage to start things off for 9Z. And they're going to try to take Banana again. Maybe a bit overzealous. Dumal capitalizes. And so a little bit of map control gleaned to the T's. I think David might have spotted Lotto's swing back out there. But the triple stack from 9Z has been swiftly evoked. They're going to try to retake this instantaneously. Great little flashbang there, but next pops his head off. Buddha goes down. DGT tries to pull things back, but it's just 2v2. Look at the HP, man. It's just so hard to get into the site.
Try going to be under some pressure here, though. I know the HP is an issue, but it is the AWP after all. Cold is now in toward Paul. He can leap on top of the coffins and go for the frag, but the flash is superb support from... Oh, I was about to say superb support from David, but he's not here on the action just yet until finally he faces the smoke. I was going to say, it's only a matter of time before he goes through that smoke to help out. And the clean sheet remains intact for 9Z, and that's a perfect start. Don't forget, last time these two teams faced, it was actually 00Nation that got a 16-0 against 9Z. So that would be a karmaic response. If is that a word, karmaic? I can't even remember. It's now nearly 4 AM my time.
It is
so
now. It is now.
I've created a word. Don't worry. I'm giving it a trademark now. Travis made it. But yeah, would be a lovely response.
Oh,
Nice opening from Try, taking that aggression toward top banana. You so often see from the AWP, using the smoke to help as well. Max is still sticking around too, just like last round.
Resmokes Banana grabs one from his fallen teammate. Op is not retrievable, but I don't even think that's a priority at this point for Max. He just wants to try to retain this part of the map as much as possible. bracket setup initiated for 9Z as well. So it's a lot of resources pumped into the A site, and it's only Max to try and bluff his way through this B bomb site. And meanwhile, Lotto's going to try to seek out a little bit more information on the A side of things, see if he can garner how these CTs are set up. But a lot of map has been taken over by 00Nation. They should be very happy with the current state of affairs, especially now that they can at least feign bracket presence as well as they try to go into this B site. Max still got to smoke the stall, but they can go through this.
Oh, 4 players coming Max's way. Needs to stand tall. Flash is really good, and now Max's only choice really is to fall back behind that Molotov. But again, you're right about this lack of a smoke towards CT. They got nothing at all this time, and once again, it's burning them. Buddha gets 2 from that position. Max then plays with the smoke toward Coffin, gets a freebie, and NQZ stuck in no man's land. That's another oversight from 00Nation, just choosing to jump across CT. That's not going to work for you, my friends.
Very odd decision that they did have a smoke. They decided to smoke coffins instead.
Agreed.
And I mean,
I
that
prefer
angle,
CT every day of the week.
Yeah, it is just a much more difficult fight to take, especially, I mean, the CT rotations are swift. You're fighting 2 players at once potentially, and that just gets very, very ugly. I know it is a headshot angle on that Coffins player, but I mean, that's what Molotovs are for. I mean, even with that one molly, Max did give away space, so there was protocols in play for them to at least get a bomb plant there. But
Yeah.
00Nation, I believe they've only had like 1 or 2 bomb plants this entire half. And for as much map control as they've been getting, that just statistic is just frightening, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one, isn't it, for 00Nation? I mean, they've played this map a lot, so it's not one they're bad on at all. We saw it early against INTZ. They defeated the Australian teams, of course, in Pro League as well, twice on that, in long games. Not necessarily the biggest scalp, but still, they're comfortable on it. I think you have to look a bit deeper into the stats, though, to realise that they haven't necessarily beaten any big teams on this map. So maybe 9Z would be the best they've played, actually, on it, overall. David will get caught off a little bit, but he adjusts for basically 1 3/4. Buddha comes in and helps out, and that's a beautiful clean-up, considering they were being swarmed as well. Only a 20 bullet A1S. Still gets 3 kills. 9-0 for 9Z. Right now, the numbers in the team names tell the tale.
Well, that's hilarious. You don't get that too often.
Never. Nice screenshot, Paladin. I see you.
Of course. Yeah, you have to clip it.
9 for 9, 0 for 0. Unfortunately, for the 00Nation boys at the moment.
And again, no answers for 00Nation. There was so much room for them to claw their way back into this half, but things continue to slip. It feels like these individuals are getting activated. Buddha with the multi-kill. DGT as well. Try showing up. This is a nice little setup here. It's super glass cannon, though. Max has to take first contact. He gets dealt with by Next. And I believe Try hit that?
So, Ratto to take that though. That's a big kill to take, but DGT is still here. Can Cole take him down through the smoke? He can't. So the 3v3 is intact for now, but health is a big issue for the 9Z side, and there's no one on the A site itself to defend against this. This is a situation, despite a 9-0 lead, the rounds have been close, their money isn't great. They should be saving this one. But it look like maybe at least we'll try a boost toward Bike. If they can get one pick from this, they'll certainly go for the retake, but NQZ is holding the line from the apartments. Wallbang attempted, no frag comes through, and now the decision's been made, and it will be the correct one.
It looks like as though DGT is quite stuck now, but no aggressive angles being taken by 00Nation. He gets out scot-free. Finally, first round on the board for 00Nation. They take another gun away. There should be a buy in the next, but yeah, you're right. I mean, the best decision here is to save. You want to get as many rounds on the CT side as possible, especially with how much momentum you have going for you right now. Try to run away with this. Yeah, don't let any way for 00Nation to get back into this. And it nearly happened on Ancient with giving that many T rounds away, and even on that CT side, a lot of opportunities missed. But try to snuff 00Nation out as fast as possible here and now.
Yep. At least for Coldzera's sake, he's not going to get 60 0'd. He has a bit of an unfortunate history of getting 60 0'd. That's all I'll say.
Of course.
Bageled, as they'd say in tennis. Oh, Max is just, that's a clean dink toward next. Somehow he's not hit a second bullet. Nato has even managed to find David in the meantime. So, despite the damage, it's 00Nation with a 5v4.
And that's the lurk. That apartment's aggression is dealt with, and they've immediately surged towards banana side. Max gets one and Try doesn't, or NQZ doesn't actually want to trade there. But yeah, great nade. And a lot of time stalled out here for Max. Smoke is not the prettiest, but it serves its purpose. It sends back 00Nation to try and retake brackets at this point. 2-2 split here for the CTs. And a recongregation for 00Nation onto this A site.
This is fine. They got a nice setup. You have pit and graveyard sorted. Usually that's enough for a 1-for-1 either which way of it. 00Nation choosing to go through long instead. Smoke deep, Molotov deep in pit. That'll actually force DGT into the open, but he still peeks wide for Lato. Nicely done, but NQZ, that's a huge frag. Now there's a great chance to take advantage of this situation. DGT under pressure in pit, but he's looking for Damao still, but good movement gets Damao the kill. Max is now the snake in the grass, coming in on the flank. There's one, and he sees the player dropping into a pit as well. The Incendiary might burn NQZ out this round, but he survives on 2 HP. Can you believe it? Damao in pit as well is locking Max out of this retake. Try knows that NQZ is so low, locked in this corner. It's AWP v AWP, so the USP is out instead, but considering he is so low. Pre-fire, gun barrel spotted, trying to bait him, but NQZ still gets it done. Wow. And now Max is caught having to retreat with the AK. He'll be off to save. That could be a big, big round for 00Nation.
Oh, that's so gross from NQZ, man. I mean, as soon as the site control is locked in, that makes Max's position that much more stronger. A real opportunity there for 9Z to get onto double digits, but very smartly played from NQZ. Second round on the board, and you're exactly right. It's a save now for 9Z. And finally, an answer back into this half. Maybe there's legs to this decider just yet.
Could be big. Money is now an issue for 9Z. They might have been up 9-0 like we saw, but with the amount of close rounds, the money wasn't great. And one round almost put them down to breaking point. The second round has. How do they activate the half-buy MP9 and the saved AK on the 9Z side? Do you put them together and hope that 00Nation go to that site, or you just gamble it? Right now they're trying to bait each other in, I think. David going in first, trying to get the MP9 into the action, but Lato will retake that position and DGT doesn't choose to push forward.
Should be a confirmed round here, even if Max has picked up this rifle. They've made the right read, and they've got a little bit of a boost back in emo. But the bomb's left all the way in T-spawn. Okay, I was going to say maybe they might reorient themselves, but Max gets another, or just one.
Now he knows. Now they know where the AK is, so surely
Right.
they'll avoid it. They'll try and rotate the AK over toward the A-bomb site, but he might be a little bit too late. 00Nation are taking their time and using their utility properly. But Max, if he just charges straight through this, there could still be a chance, but no, there's still 3 toward long straight away. So yeah, he was 2 seconds too late. That's round done.
It's a risk to be taken, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's potentially to win the round. Like, let's say he gets on the site, maybe he beats that timing. Maybe there's 1 or 2 kills offered. Maybe 9Z can then swarm the site with whatever bits and bobs they've been able to pick up. But of course, it's all in the past at this point. 00Nation still get their third. Try gets to save this AK. DGT will hold on to this MP9 as well. So comfortable buy into round number 13.
And you never know. 9-6 is still possible. That would mean very much game on.
Yeah, it really comes down to these final few rounds. Which way does that momentum swing? Because if 00Nation can get these last 3, then we've got a very different half than what we might have thought this would have ended up in. Being more of a blowout for 9Z, but rather 00Nation clawing things back and actually making a game out of it. I mean, 9-6 is not a bad half by any means. So 00Nation must stay dialed in to confirm these 3. But on the flip side of things, if 9Z can close out 12-3, it's like those 3 rounds didn't matter anyways.
For sure. Right, defending toward long. Oh, it's a glorious quad kill. He even drops the bomb as well. Lato lost live. He wants the ace badly. He was gagging for it. But now Lato might have a chance to show up. Oh, that was a beautiful hold. Try with the rifle, not even with the AWP. Dirty.
He saves that AK and puts it to such a great use. I mean, those have to be instant shots there. Those trades would be so imminent, but he makes it look so damn easy. Lotto up in a very, very tough clutch here. Caught a little bit of a gap here into the apartments, but he's unaware that there is no pit presence. He could be able to bound his way into the A site, but he's just not. He's not comfortable with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it happen now after it would have been one of the most wild swings in a round we've seen in the rounds of the year if Lato's able to pull this off. And don't forget, guys, he's had 2 aces already today. One on Inferno earlier against pretty much an eco, to be fair. But the one on Anubis was absolutely glorious. He's going aggressive for this frag, but he's going to get caught between the 2. Surely he gets traded, and there we go. Oh, again, I was getting nervous. He's stepped up so many times today. But Max removes him eventually. AWP recovered, and 9Z will eventually get their 10th thanks to the heroics.
I was believing there. I was really believing after he got that first kill on the Alps player.
Yeah.
He got the turnaround as well, but too quick on the trigger there from 9Z. And they get that double digits. It took a little while, but they found it. More money to be spent from 00Nation. Trying to get these last 2 rounds. Not out of the realms of possibility in a comeback, mind you, if they can get these final 2. But regardless, 9Z should be happy with the buy that they have going into this one. Try finally gets his preferred weapon of choice.
The Dragon Law. Overrated in my opinion, but it's still cool.
Agree.
Prefer the Howl over the Dragon Law overall, I reckon. I've actually I've shown you already, Paladin, that I framed my Howl mousepad.
Twitter loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it too. Great picture.
And I'm gonna have another addition to the Howl collection coming in the mail soon. Wink, wink. I'll show you that when it comes through.
Awesome.
Talking of collections, they need to release that Anubis collection. When's that coming? Come on, Valve. We're waiting for it for the major. There'll definitely be an update that'll have to come soon. And EGT is going to have to run away very soon. Cole actually pushes super aggressively and manages to take him out. But Max was the insurance policy. Up through top mid and up towards short. And Buddha only gets 1 with that AUG. He's been very successful with that AUG so far, but only 1 this time. Next, trades it, but David is in the right position again. And this might force 00Nation to go for a bit more of a solo play. It was being considered by Demau to perhaps flank the B bomb site, but he'd rather help NQZ. The time on the clock means that that's not a possibility. Max toward the back of the site, and he hits their dink. But goodness me, still gets to kill. And now 1 HP, 1 bullet needed. David has 4 left, tries to connect it, and eventually calmly taps away to finish the job. 11-3. Great stuff.
Very, very nice hold from 9Z. Too many players to deal with. The crossfires assembled as the hits were coming. I mean, 00Nation can't calm that quickly. It's just not possible. You know, you have a player come up from balcony, you have a player on pit, and then another player kind of filling his way into pit, then a player on corner box. It's just so hard to deal with if you're 00Nation, regardless of the entries that you're getting. And it's relegated 00Nation to a final ugly bye here. Mac 10s on Next and Lotto, and pistols on the rest. So as I was saying before, not able to convert those 3 rounds could spell disaster for this comeback here. And Try gets a beautiful little opening there. Sets up DGG very, very well here for a beautiful little double. And trades come through. But just a tag. Try converts. And consolation of a bomb plant for Dumau, but another impossible clutch here for the young Brazilian.
I mean, how does he go about it? He's relatively healthy, but surely 9Z will consider all these options. Right now, they're not thinking about Boiler whatsoever. Dumau could be behind all 3 of them here. This is going to be really, really close. All 3 are looking the wrong way, but he gets spooked as soon as they turn around. And now Max can surely hold this bomb, but he's going to be in the open. Dumau's still playing with it, and he actually hits that headshot somehow. But there's plenty of time for the defuse. That was probably almost all the stars aligning for that clutch, but in the end, it will be a 12-3 for 9Z. It is clean for them, and they're just 4 rounds away from that grand final and a shot at IEM Dallas. We'll see you after a quick break. One more half in this best of three, and it could be very close to an ending for 9Z. They've been playing very well, and Try, most certainly, after that 4K from Long, the highlight of the day so far. 00Nation have a long road back on the CT side of Inferno. How far can they bring it back?
Well, they're going to try it with some aggression. Lotto pushing apartments early, gets rewarded. Nice little flash setup there from NQZ. Gets a lot of information, some decent amount of damage as well on the Buddha 57. But 9Z want to slow things down immediately. They've got enough util to potentially just execute on this B bomb site, very similar to 00Nation's idea of their T pistol. And Dumal's ready here with the smoke nade combo as well. Kit on NQZ, so they've got a lot of room to work with here.
Dumal, here's the whiz of a bullet past his ear hole. Get the smoke down. Go for a do before falling back away. But 9Z are comfortable to continue to go for this B play. The smoke will fade. And they're going to have two smokes for Coffin and for CT, you'd imagine, and a Molotov for Buddha as well to clear out those portions of this site. That nade might be pretty tasty, and that is very tasty. Try and DGT, 45 and 41, and now maybe a little boost coming in towards CT, but they're fumbling it slightly. They're fumbling it above the Coffin, that smoke, actually. It's not the CT one. Got caught off guard for a second there. And I know that's coming in. So that's going to be a very interesting hold for 9Z. 4 versus 5. Dumal trying to hit more tags through the glass. And now, how do they hold this one at bay? There is a kit on NQZ. They can afford to take their time slightly with this one. Buddha spots the first. Cold will go down. Try taps down Lato. And they're fighting against that defuse kit carrying player. But the kills come back in response quickly from next. But a dink comes through. Max needs to finish this one off. Who does he go for first? Oh, he's whiffing it slightly. And the bomb is being defused. A lifeline for 00Nation. They just about managed to recover the situation.
It felt like 9Z had the way back into that round, but as soon as the church side prong surges into the site, it completely catches 9Z unawares. Tribe was already low, even though he gets one. That's all that he's really good for. And 9Z actually reinvest. They got the bomb plant, they get a lot of kills, so they understand that 00Nation have to reinvest here. And a huge swing round in terms of where this third map is headed. 9Z with an opportunity to just completely capitulate 00Nation outright here now.
Yeah, this is the big one. For Galil's T-side bomb plant after the pistol. So much money available. And another one of these buys for 00Nation where they're happy to go with all the FAMASs, right? Fami. I won't use the other word that has been doing the rounds, I promise you. I don't know what that one is. Buddha getting tagged up, Cold down to 31 as well. NQC, bit of an off angle, but the swing is wide and actually gets away with it. He was being prepared to be flashed in for that second frag, but Try was ahead of that flashbang a lot faster than he was expecting. So 4v4. And a resmoke toward Arch will give 9Z some space toward Long.
I like this pumping of the brakes here from 9Z. They're considering moving out of the A side, but they smoke Arch side, and they decided to reorient themselves to lane. Lotto will not be able to help with this MP9 at that kind of a range. So 2 players on this site, and here comes the hit.
Next, playing next to the Cold Boxera box. Can he deal with the push? The answer right now is no, but they might not still have to deal with Cold Zera. 2 from the pit. And it sets up Dumal for a possible clutch, but the kit being dropped on the site means that he can still take his time. However, it's only a FAMAS to fight up against these 2 players, and they can very easily play off each other in a crossfire. They're doing exactly that. Look at the repositioning. They've got the 2 best positions in this afterplant. DGT, will that be guessed by Dumal after so long? It will be looked for, but when he shifts into the angle, it's always going to be DGT's. And that is a first nail in the 00Nation coffin.
Now, Cold Zero really tried to make things work there. Great little double, but his site player could not get anything done, and that just completely ruins that crossfire outright. It becomes useless. And so, again, as I said previously, Lado was not able to help Arch with that MP9, and he gets taken out. And as soon as that bomb goes down, things just get very, very difficult. There was room there for a clutch, but as soon as they get out of that default position and reorient themselves into apartments, it's just so hard to convert. And this leaves 00Nation with an impossible decision, and they decide to force back into this because it's really all that they can do. And immediately tries gotten one kill back. Dumao trades, but DGT firmly wrestles with that man advantage. 4v3 now, as 00Nation have to scramble for something, anything, to get them back into this game.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot. Cole just trying to play behind the plywood, the car position. But now the taps will come through, and even though he avoids the damage, the fact he has avoided the damage might mean they're not considering it, to be fair. Surely they give it a glance. There are two players who are low HP. None of them are looking at him right now. He chooses the wrong player to fight first. Unfortunate. Happens to the best of us. David reveals himself and easily gets that quick frag, quick reaction. Damage was mostly done to try in the end, and he was one of the furthest players away, so didn't work out. And it leaves next in NQZ, probably looking to try and save what they have for at least something. Could be a gun, could be recovered, but I imagine 9Z will go back and cover that straight away, which they are doing, look. With two players pushing toward Banana.
Oh!
Nice shot.
Okay. I mean, this is a very pick your poison type scenario for 00Nation. Do you continue to hunt for these frags? Do you try to save these weapons and then force into the next? Or do you complete save in the next? Like, you have... I mean, each scenario is both very, very ugly. But either way, 9Z will... Or sorry, 00Nation will rather opt to save this scout on NQZ and a MAC-10 on nexts. But regardless, this is just such a scary scenario for 00Nation. I really don't know how to write a silver lining here.
No, well, I mean, right now I can say that perhaps the only silver lining could be the fact that if they may face INTZ in the lower bracket again, who they absolutely destroyed earlier, of course. But I can tell you right now, that's in a third map overtime on Nuke. After a pretty decent comeback from Fluxo. So you'd think that maybe Fluxo will try and push toward the finish line on that one. Boggs and Pineapple Phillips having a great time with that game, I'm sure. Oh, look at this boost for next with that save below. That could be really important, but they spot it straight away. And of course they know the second player's directly underneath him. Wipeout of the B defense. And that's 15 confirmed straight away.
One last buy, and it'll have to be 11 rounds straight if we want to talk overtime here. And with how confident players like Buddha are right now, it's going to get very, very difficult to even consider a comeback on the cards here. And what a statement from 9Z after staving off the comeback from 00Nation on Ancient. They absolutely put out 00Nation to dry on Inferno Decider. And mind you, this is one of the more comfortable maps. And to do it on two comfortable maps of 00Nation's pool, Ancient and Inferno,
yeah,
it's really a statement to kind of see where 9Z are at as a team, even though they've missed out on the RMR.
Yeah, it feels like they're just obviously it's very easy to say this because 00Nation have had some success without Taco, but still, it feels like with Taco, I get the impression 00Nation wouldn't have lost this game because, sure, they lost against 9Z in the IEM Rio qualifier. Taking him out here. The flash is good, though. That's good to defend. But, yeah, of course, 00Nation comfortably won 2-0 in the last time these two met in that last RMR qualifier. So, it was a 16-0 for 00Nation in that game. All the turntables. This round should be theirs, though. 4 versus 3. They need a quick response to 9Z if they want to keep this one going. NQZ looking to try and make a frag, but Try again picks with the op. 22-9 Try. He is having a great game. Next has to rotate into a smarter position on the site because he's got to worry about that apartment smoke fading as well. And now he's going to get caught if he's not careful. Goes for the swing, but DGT takes it. Cold thankfully flanks Try, and that does drop the bomb, but that smoke will let them recover it. Cold and Lato can hold hands to go for this retake together. Bomb will go down. Buddha can reposition toward the apartments, and that's a nice place to be in. Cold lurking through. Lato lurking up through short. Trying to make something happen. They have to get these frags quickly if these positions are hard to deal with, and then they do. They do exactly what I say. And Cold and Lato will keep 00Nation's hopes alive for just a little while longer.
It's dicey there again as well. They get away with the bomb plant, but coldzera catches just a little bit of a leg as Buddha tries to charge his way into the apartments, and very well handled 2v2, aware that the bomb planter had to still be on the site itself. 10 more rounds to go. A Herculean task ahead of these CTs. And the buys will not get prettier. It's very nice to see kind of 9Z respond after such a smattering performance from 00Nation in that RMR close qualifier. It really speaks to the kind of meaning to this game for them.
Yeah.
It goes just beyond the grand final spot, the spot at IEM Rio, at the grand final for IEM Dallas, but it also means that, you know, they get that revenge, and Try shows that he won the swap. You know, it was wrong for them to make that trade.
True, that's a big deal between these two teams, of course. What I will say, of course, as well, is that it would be really cool for 9Z to qualify not just for IEM Rio, but for IEM Dallas as well. That'll do wonders for their rankings, just being there. So,
and, you know, you'd miss the major in between, but you'd have the opportunity to at least run the 2 tournaments surrounding it, and that could still give you enough momentum to consider it a top team again.
For sure.
And QZ does pull one kill back, but 3v2 on the site. I say that NQZ decides to pull back onto the A site, and not a lot of utility to really explode on this site. A couple flashes to maybe disrupt some crossfires, but that's about it.
Yeah, Lato needs to step up here, but he's got support from next toward the graveyard position, and that's probably the best crossfire they could have. They are creeping up, but there's the lineup, and there's the cleanup. 6 for 00Nation. And now there might be a small comeback to come in. Only DGT can buy, really, on the 9Z side, so they should be saving. 00Nation could have a path to around 7 or 8 before this game is done. You never know how many more. I believe, according to Twitch chat, which obviously I know isn't the most reliable source of information, but I just had a quick look at it and compared it with the scoreboard from the other game. Apparently INTZ had 6 match points, which they weren't able to convert. So that's a bit of a heartbreaker for them. Now Fluxo are 18-15 after clean sweeping the CT side of overtime. So who knows how many rounds that was in a row. I'm guessing around 8 or 9. So if it is 00Nation versus Fluxo in the lower bracket tomorrow, that would be a pretty exciting game. But of course, we'll be back on this stream for that one. Next gets headshot there as he tries to cross apartments, but the headshot only does 13 HP. So, you know, walls do hurt the damage sometimes.
Phelps and Zeus versus coldzera in the lower bracket. I mean, that's just such a tantalizing prospect.
True.
Spot for survival within these IEM Dallas qualifiers.
Against old teammates. Oh, wow. A big swing and almost gets taken down. And actually, Cold will get caught by David. That's pretty big. And the Glock, no way. Demao is actually feels like he's fortunate to be alive. You wouldn't say that about a Glock versus M4 duel too often. But look where David is. He's actually in between the play right now. I don't believe Lato has any idea that he's kept so far forward, but Dumao's aware of that possibility, and Lato was looking for it. So even though David was actually in between the play there, escape with the frag. DGT has this AK though, and he has Kevlar too. But 00Nation are rotating into the correct position, but DGT just wins the duel towards CT, and Dumao can't really afford to face this on 9 HP, so you might have to allow the bomb plant to come through here. This would be a sad way for 00Nation to lose. Max could even take this kill on the P250, but no. It's going to have to all be DGT. 22 and 11 in this game. Does get the frag, but now he's so very low. 11 health, and NQZ finishes the job. 00Nation keep on trucking.
But a lot of damage, and the money's not great for 00Nation, so even trying to defend against match point, it's not going to be the prettiest. But at this point, 00Nation, they just want to get rounds. They just want to get closer and closer in any way possible. And it'll be scrappy. It always has been for them. But another opportunity for 9Z to close things out here. 5 rifles across the board, deciding to stay a little bit more mobile this time around. And we've seen what great work Try has done with the rifle thus far. Definitely don't think that they're true hamstrung by such a decision.
Yep. Can confirm that Fluxo have now won, so it's the expected result, but maybe not as close as we thought. Fluxo will be in that lower bracket final tomorrow. Plays the loser of this, and right now it seems very likely to be 00Nation, but they're fighting well, and that's a bit of a mistake from Max. He's spraying the corner of the smoke, and guess what? Try just walked straight into it. I feel like that may not have necessarily been Max's fault. Bit of mispositioning there. Drops the bomb in the open, and this gun round has fallen away instantly.
More rounds for 00Nation to play. Try to fight for their honor at this point. I still don't want to say that the comeback is on it.
I refuse.
Of course, the magic number will always be 10 before we start to at least even have a conversation about it.
Right now, it's just trying your best, not giving up, and seeing how far that takes you. I don't believe in the caster curse anyway, Paladin. Doesn't exist.
Oh, it doesn't exist. It's not real. It never has been.
Of course not.
This game will not go to double overtime. I can guarantee you that.
It will definitely not go to triple overtime, and it definitely won't be 6 AM by the time I go to bed. 4:30 AM in the UK right now, but I'm enjoying myself, so what does it matter? Any UKers still in chat? I saw a few earlier. If you're still braving the early hours of the morning, respect to you. Makes sense for 9Z to save here. Got utility as well, so may as well.
Yeah, and you're on max loss bonus as well, so you should have a buy into following with how much DGT, Max, and Try will save here. Actually, I say that they heavily invest, so still a big threat in this round for 00Nation.
They got full loss, so makes sense. Yeah. They can buy down to that 1300, 1200 mark and be relatively okay. Even with the bomb plant. Buddha, for example, can be able to buy.
Bit of a flubbed Molotov there forces Buddha out in the open and mid, but it doesn't matter. They're just going to go for a hard B contact play. Ooh, missed. Is that a missed smoke from the T's there?
Yeah, I don't see a smoke on a roof too often on Inferno. Double nade comes through though, and that's a lovely cleanup from Lato. The round actually gets nothing done there other than some nade damage. Instant double. And 9Z are struggling to find any openings in the last few rounds. It's all been 00Nation. CT side not usually that OP on Inferno, considering all the saves you have to have done. In certain situations that are just unretakeable. But anything can happen on online Counter-Strike. And it usually does. And QZ in a good position though. Line up. There you go. Gets the collateral damage. Goes back in for another one, which is a little bit dangerous. And David will punish him for that, deservedly so. But Cole's waiting for the lurk coming in from Arch, and he'll deal with Try comfortably. It's David 1v4. Davideus, as he goes by on HL TV. Trying to play a little headshot angle on the hay cart. But now noise has to be made. Next on the site should be able to find him pretty comfortably. There's the information. He actually manages to spray him down nicely. And there's a second headshot. 1 versus 2, but surely 00Nation don't give him any more space. The M4 is creeping in and he will have his back turned, and Dumal, the silence pays off. Another nice try from David, but we go on.
9 rounds now for 00Nation. Another opportunity for a buy here from 9Z. A lot of opportunities for 9Z to play with, but they finally take attack. You know, they really want to just get their ducks in a row here. Gather that knockout blow and get this match over with. Secure themselves that grand final spot. It's calling their name.
Well then. Tactical timeout. Yeah, fight for their honor, and honestly, I think they really need to. I wouldn't say go for something fast, but I feel like 9Z changing up the pace slightly, even if it's just a mid-round full execute, could be the way forward. I feel like they've been kind of losing opening picks 1 for 1 over and over in the last 4 or 5 rounds or so. Not been really giving themselves much opportunity.
Okay, line being taken from NQZ actually hits the tag on the hand of DGT. Nade will not complete the kill, but banana control firmly in the CT's favor as 9Z decide to reorient themselves to brackets instead. Try to get Lado off this angle, try to make these CTs a little bit more uncomfortable as the round progresses. Here comes that brackets control, and Buddha rips Nexus head off in Graveyard. Still not aware of coldzera. He's not willing to swing, but as soon as he does, he also gets his head taken off. And now into the 3v5, Max gas an incredible frag of his own. And a 2v5 A-site retake. It feels inevitable. 9Z have definitely locked in their grand final spot here in the IEM Dallas close qualifiers for South America.
Yeah, very deserved as well. It's been a great performance on Inferno. NQZ gets ripped away by David, and it's a superb result for 9Z. It took them a little while to get over the line, but in the end, I think you have to say over the balance of the series, considering the fight they showed, it was deserved. I mean, Ancient got a bit closer than they maybe would have wanted, and 00Nation made that close for a while. But yeah.